What's up, y'all? It's your girl Aries in Jersey. Listen, I got a crazy story that I'm about to bring to y'all. I have been following this story for a couple of days. I done went down a rabbit hole. And when I tell you this is crazy, it is crazy. I don't think it's getting enough attention like it should. Maybe it did, and maybe I'm just late to the party, but I'm about to bring y'all some craziness. So, have y'all heard about Moses Malone Jr., who is a legend that James Harden was involved in attacking him? So, for those of you who do not know, Moses Malone Jr. is the son of the great Moses Malone Sr., who was the NBA champion for I think the Houston Rockets, I believe. I'm not really well versed in the old school players, so please forgive me if I have that wrong, but I believe that is to be true. But nonetheless, he is the son of the great Moses Malone Sr., who played in the NBA. Okay. So he is alleging that James Harden hired some goons to come and basically jump him and beat him up at a club in Houston. So let's get into it. I'm about to read this article from ESPN. So y'all bear with me, okay? So it says Moses Malone Jr. filed an amendment to a civil lawsuit Monday seeking damages from James Harden for allegedly orchestrating a beating last summer in retaliation for a Facebook post that offended the Houston Rockets All-Star. Malone's attorney George Farah said. It states that Malone, the son of NBA legend Moses Malone, was beaten and robbed of jewelry by four armed men approximately 2 a.m. on June 25th outside of V Live Houston, an after-hour strip club. It says four men were arrested in connection with the assault, including Darren Blunt, a security guard at the now closed club, and charged with aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. The lawsuit alleges that Harding was at the club at the time of the attack. Harding was not charged or accused of any wrongdoing in the case. The amendment to the lawsuit states that Blunt was acting on the orders of defendant James Harden when he and his associate attacked Malone. The suit alleges that Harding paid Blunt approximately $20,000 and put a hit on Malone. So basically, they gave a green light for this attack to happen on Malone. Okay. So I know y'all are wondering, well, how the hell did all this even start? So according to Malone, he did a Facebook post around June 23rd criticizing Harden of charging $249 for his basketball camp, which Malone said shut out inner city children. His attorney, who represents Malone, said that the Facebook post was referenced during the beating and robbery. So all the stories that we've heard from all the witnesses were pretty consistent that James Harden was pretty much upset about the Facebook post that was posted the night of the attack, Farah told ESPN on Tuesday morning. There were text messages between Malone and some of James Harden's friends. We have a good trail of evidence that leads to James Harden's involvement in this. Okay? It says, Farah said he is in the process of subpoenaing 10 witnesses who were at the club that night and can testify to Harden's involvement. Farah said Malone and Harden were both regular clients at the club. Okay, so it says Malone is seeking more than $1 million for past and future severe physical pain, mental anguish, medical expenses, physical impairment, and loss of personal property. So y'all, okay, so let me give y'all the tea on this, okay? What I went in the rabbit hole and researched myself, okay? And all this is alleged because I don't know. I wasn't there. I ain't trying to get sued. But so apparently Moses Malone went to this after party spot. It's a club in V Live, which has since closed. According to Malone, and I listened to a couple of his interviews, one with Dogface that he recently did, and he was basically saying that, he really didn't know why James Harden attacked him. He said, he was kind of perplexed, and I'm paraphrasing all of this, but he was like, he was kind of taken back, like all of this could be over a Facebook post. And as I read in the article, he basically criticized James Harden for having this youth basketball camp that was charging exorbitant fees, and there were inner city kids who could not go to this camp. So, from what I saw on this interview with Moses Malone Jr., James Harden is rocking with some girl named Molo. And she is, I believe, in the deposition that James Harden did. And Molo was basically, this person that he hung out with that, got him girls and basically did stuff around the city. Moses Malone Jr. has called her a madam, allegedly. I don't know. But, I've seen pictures with her with lots of different celebrities from the likes of Drake. And, I'm talking about your big name celebrities she has been pictured with. And, supposedly she, gets girls for these celebrities and, they do whatever they do. And on this particular night, he went out to V Live, and as he's approaching V Live, this dude named David Blunt basically came and accused him of making that Facebook post about James Harden and basically attacked him. He said, some of his jewelry was taken, and he says that people told him that the dudes who attacked him were seen in the club partying in James Harden's section. Okay. And then apparently there were text messages linking this Molo chick to James Harden, and it's just a crazy mess. I would suggest that y'all go to YouTube and search James Harden's deposition. And when I tell you, and then not only that, but it is alleged that James Harden is linked to the Big U situation. So for y'all who don't know, Big U is a rolling 60s Crip, I believe, and allegedly, again, all this is allegedly, but he's currently has been indicted on a RICO. And it is alleged that James Harden may have got at a dice game, lost somebody at a dice game. And there's another alleged NBA player who got for a couple of $1,000,000. I believe James Harden got for maybe around 100 and some $1,000. And Adrian Bronner, the boxer, was allegedly the one who kind of set him up in this dice game. And supposedly, allegedly, Big U caught wind of it and was basically trying to get the money back for James Harden while still trying to extort. It's a crazy web. When I tell y'all, I went down a rabbit hole with this case, and I'm like, is James Harden out here really moving like this in the streets? Like, you wouldn't even think that all of this stuff that is being alleged about him, you wouldn't even think this. And allegedly, they're saying that the reason why James Harden requested that move from Houston to LA was because all of this stuff that was going on down in Houston, and I'm hearing allegedly James Prince's name be involved in this. It's crazy. It is a lot of stuff going on down there. Again, I don't know if any of this stuff is true. Especially when it's linked to the Big U case. But from what I have seen and research, they wiretap some of Big U's phone conversations. And that could probably be in a lot of trouble for some people. Because if the feds or whoever is investigating you and they've wiretapped and they got that hard evidence, it's going to be real hard to prove that none of this is false. But man, I'm telling y'all, man, the rabbit hole goes deep on this. I'm definitely going to be following this. I am interested. I want to know if the NBA knows about this because, the NBA, I'm sure they are in all of these players' businesses, and I'm sure they done got wind of what's going on with this because, James Harden's name is popping up a lot, and he has been in some really pretty serious situations, and this being one of them. And, Moses Malone Jr., he stated that, he's basically saying this because, what they did to him was wrong. He said, all of this over a Facebook post. He didn't think that that was something that was, warranted or whatever and stuff. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this all unfolds, to see if James Harden is going to be, indicted or charges come down. We got to definitely follow this case. I will be back for more. Y'all stay tuned. Like, comment, let me know what y'all think. Share, subscribe, and I'll be back for more. Peace.